No, I just heard that. I really want to ask, but we do have to save the state.
All right, it is 3:15. McNair, I'm waiting on the go signal from you. You good to go? All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Vespers. My name is Eric Rightor. I was a Coniston, I am a Coniston alumni from 1996 to 2010. And had the pleasure of starting a camp, and that catapulted my current career as a camp director as well. And currently I run outdoor adventure summer camps out here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. It is a great honor to be leading Vespers, a very important time for me that helped me grow up. And it's so cool that now, a decade later, that I have the opportunity to lead Vespers and get to enjoy the next 10 minutes with all of you, which should be cool. This is for those of you who are new to Vespers, Vespers is a quiet reflection time during the camp day that usually is held in the afternoons. That's usually done in silence. There are usually announcements. And then there's usually someone who is leading Vespers will give you kind of a thought-provoking story, song, or just a quote that will mean there. And I'll be telling you a story today about the greatest adventure I've ever been on and the people that made that happen. After my experiences at camp, my best friend, his name is Dan, we decided that we were going to hike the Appalachian Trail in 2009. That's the only summer between 96 and 2010 that I missed at Coniston, and I even stopped by for a little time in the middle. If you happen to be there for that beard, it was something else. But we decided in fourth grade we were going to do this trip. We finally decided close to that we were going to launch out. And on March 25th of 2009, we set out to hike in the woods for 6 months. And so you can imagine, and let me know if this rings a bell, but my quest in the Appalachian Trail was not only to be able to complete it, but to be able to really shut the world out and be able to have time to myself to think through deep thoughts and get to know myself. And that may sound pretty familiar these days with the current situation that we're all living in. And you can imagine a trip I'd been planning for close to 10 years with my best friend. I finally got out on the trail, all my gear, all my food was packed. And the first day it rained. And the second day it rained. And the third day and the fourth day and all the way to day 26 of the trip, it rained every single day. And in the course of that time, obviously all my gear got wet. My food got soggy. So I remember having very soggy meals that were not supposed to be. And most importantly, I ended up hurting myself where I hurt my knee. And it was very hard to walk. But I'm also incredibly stubborn, and I hiked 80 miles on a hurt knee. And after that, thought I was doing some pretty bad damage, as most people would probably come to grips with. And I decided that I had failed. I had failed my dream of hiking the Appalachian Trail, and I had to come to grips with that moment. And it was really hard. I mean, you can probably see it on my face just thinking about that mindset right then, of thinking that this dream I had of being out and being able on this grand adventure, and it was cut short. And so as I was walking to a road, I had a 10-mile hike in order to get out from the trail. My brother was going to be waiting for me. And along the trail, I saw that there were two men sitting in the middle of the trail, next to a red pickup truck and a green pickup truck. And I was a little puzzled, but my dream was ending, so I didn't really pay much attention. So I walked straight up to them, and they said, "Hey, are you hiking the Appalachian Trail?" And I didn't want to say I was getting off, so I simply said, "Yeah." And they said, "Cool. Well, we have some free chili for you. We have some hot dogs and steaks. Take a seat." And I was totally puzzled. Why were they here? Why were they just offering me free food? And I learned about that the red truck and green truck event. I don't even know their names. I simply knew that that was my first experience with a trail angel. And a trail angel is actually something that carries through the entire trail, where people in their regular lives will stop by the Appalachian Trail and simply do acts of kindness for those that are hiking. And it can be really simple. I remember that I had one person simply stop me on the trail and say, "Hey, do you want a granola bar?" Now, something super simple, but in the moment when you're hungry and all you do is hike all day and everything is everything is whirling around you, getting a granola bar was like getting a bar of gold. It was awesome. And the acts of kindness just kept going. And after all of those things, I remember sitting down in the red truck and green truck event, and I had my bowl of chili, and it lifted my spirits. And they asked me about the story. They said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I told them the story, and they said, "Hey, we'll keep going. You got this." And I kept hiking, and I kept going, and I ended up getting better, and I ended up keep going. The next trail angel found me. I explained my story, and we kept going. Little acts of kindness along the way that eventually led to me hiking 2,172 miles and finishing the Appalachian Trail on September 13th of that year. Now, I would love to tell you right now and to brag a little bit and be able to tell you that it was my own grit and my own perseverance of everything and all the lessons that I learned from all these, from all the skills and survival skills and medical training and all that got me through the trail. But that's not true. What got me through the trail were those trail angels. From that really simple granola bar that someone handed to me, to those inspirational words that I got from somebody saying how proud they were that I got to that moment. I had never met them before in my life. There was the time where I pulled up just entered a trailhead, and there was someone just cooking burgers and said, "Hey, you want a burger? Cool." All random acts of kindness, slices of pizza, getting ice cream, people inviting me to their home in order to spend a warm night inside. Some people even offered to carry my pack to where I was going to be so that I could hike 15 miles without any weight on my back. It was cool. And I thought, wow, how cool is this? My faith in humanity is renewed. I want to be a trail angel someday. I want to be this for somebody else. And I look back at that, and now I equate that to where we are now, to where we're being asked in these scary times to stay inside, to close ourselves off from the world. And the world can seem pretty distant right now. But you can still be a trail angel. You can be an angel to someone, and it doesn't take much. It can be a random act of kindness. It can be to your neighbor. You could bring something that you baked in the oven and deliver some joy. You could be able to send some kind words to somebody if you wanted to. Or you could go all out and be able to really do something nice for somebody else. But the one thing we all have right now is a little bit of extra time. And I think with that time, we want to be able to spend it wisely. And a great way to spend it, as someone who has, by choice, put themselves into the woods, secluded and quarantined, and with their own thoughts for extended periods of time, that I'll tell you, those trail angels stand out in my mind as the reason that I got to enjoy the greatest adventure of my life. So think about how you could be a trail angel today. what a little act of kindness would do, not only for that person, but also what it will do for you. And that's kind of the message I want to pass along to all of you, that it's really simple. It doesn't take much. But just like it did on the trail, it didn't take much for somebody to do then, but it will mean the absolute world to that person you do it for. And in turn, that's going to make you feel pretty good. So that's my story there. And I think it really makes sense to it just really makes sense in these times to be there for one another, to gather in moments like now, as there's 100 people on this phone call. Wow, my heart just started pounding thinking I'm talking to 100 people. Okay. But it's really, really nice that we can all do something kind for someone else, from a kind word to a kind gesture, and it will go a really long way. Which is a great transition to our new tradition we have here at Digital Vespers, and maybe real Vespers, who knows, to be able to end our Vespers today with a little bit of gratitude. And to be able to think that there are so many people, from maybe people who are near to you right now, or maybe across the country, to maybe people who live in memory, who have made you who you are right now, and who have made an impact on your life. And so with these next 15 seconds, I want you to take a moment to think of those people, to really bring them into your heart and have gratitude that they were there for you when you needed them, and thinking about how you might be able to carry that forward. I'll watch the clock. Juniors. That's the only way I know how to end Vespers. So thank you all for taking a moment out of your day in order to join me and everyone here. And I hope my story and the story we were able to tell today resonated with you and meant a lot. And I hope you're able to share that gratitude. So everyone, be safe out there. Make sure to wash your hands as much as you possibly can. That's really going to help out. Keep your social distancing, follow everything there. And make sure to every day breathe in a little bit of gratitude for what you have to be grateful for today. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here at Vespers next week.